Page 3, step right up. On page 2, they're giving you a review of the stuff that you're supposed to already know. Ha, ha, ha. The stuff you've learned in the first book. You see stuff there you're not sure about or whatever, we're going to cover it all in this book. So I don't see a lot of point in going through all that and reviewing it and all of that. Let's just talk about this and we'll cover everything as we go through these pieces. In Step Right Up, they're not introducing anything new, I don't think, because I can't remember what we covered in the first book yet. So I pretend that you already know everything you see here. However, we're going to talk about everything you see here because it's important that you know everything you see here. So here we go. You see the grand staff. They show it at the top of page 2. The grand staff's got 2 staves. The staff is those 5 lines. That's a staff. There's 2 of those, and they're connected together with these bars, and it has that curly brace at the beginning. That makes it a grand staff. That's what piano music is on, is a grand staff. Other instruments use a grand staff too, but we're not concerned about those instruments. We're just trying to learn piano here. So we have a grand staff. That's fine. You'll see those in all of them. I'm not going to keep saying it's got a grand staff because of course it has. The vertical bars between, as the line goes on, you get these vertical bars. They're measure lines or bar lines because the space in between them is a measure or a bar. Depends on what country you're from as to what you call them. I'm liable to call them either one. We have treble and bass clef at the beginning. Treble clef is on the top staff and bass clef is on the bottom. It does not have to be that way, but it is for now. That is. Okay. And we have 4/4 time signature. Remember the numbers, the 4 and the 4. Top number tells you how many counts are in a measure or how far you have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 counts in every measure or every bar. That's the space between the vertical lines. Have I lost you yet? I don't know. The bottom number represents a quarter note, as in 1/4 or a quarter of something, quarter note. So we're counting quarter notes, or there is the same as 4 quarter notes in every measure. Well, let's just check that theory, shall we? In the first measure, you see 4 quarter notes. Well, that's it. That's what you're allowed to have, 4 quarter notes. In the second measure, it's 2 quarter notes and a half note. Well, a half note's the same as 2 quarter notes. So when you put them together, that's still 4 counts. So that's still, and you're going to find 4 counts in each of these measures. Now they put in the letter names in the words in the second verse. There's 2 verses. If you want to sing, I don't sing in these videos, or good grief. You sing if you want to. I don't know. But they put the names of the notes anyway in them. And you need to know the names of these notes instantly. I do a drill called a play it and say it drill. And if you were my student in front of me, we would be doing this at every lesson until I'm convinced you know the names of the notes in the music instantly. Not having to figure them out or nothing. And that's what we basically do. You forget the rhythm, you just count it. Or say the names of the notes. We'll count it later. Forget the rhythm, don't count it. Oh, well. So it's like here, if I put my thumb, see the one above the staff, that's a finger number. Remember the fingers are numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, thumb is here. And it's just say it and play it. So it's a C, D, E, F, G, 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 F, E, D, C. So you just over and over and over until you get the idea of that note in the music is such and such a letter, and you just know them. It takes time, but just keep at it. Now the first line, the bottom staff is empty. It's got those boxes. Those are whole rests, remember? A whole rest is a box that hangs below the line. A half rest is a box that sits on the line, because every note has a rest. There's a quarter rest, half rest, whole rest, whatever. And that's what the bottom staff in the first line. In the first line, we're talking about both staves together because they're connected. So you're going to play the stuff in them at the same time, so it's one line of music. And so the top staff has notes, the bottom staff has rests. And in the second line, the bottom staff has the notes and the top staff has the rests. So the right hand is going to play the stuff in the top staff for now. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's the way we're going to do it for now. And the left hand's going to play the stuff in the bottom staff. So the right hand plays the first line here, and the left hand plays the second line. And if you look, there's a 5 underneath the staff in the second line. That's little finger, 5th finger. And that tells you put your 5th finger on that note and here. And do the play it and say it drills here too. Make sure you know the names of these notes in this music. It's important. So when we go to play it, put both hands on the keyboard, be ready to go, and you just play the note. And if you can count it, good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because a half note gets 2 counts. 3, and then the second line, you're going to do the same thing. Second line's the same as the first line, it's just the other hand. So once you have an idea of the notes and the fingering and the rhythm, count it out all right. And by the way, this counting, you only do it at the beginning when you're trying to figure out what the rhythm is. Once you know what the rhythm is, you don't count it anymore. You feel it. We're going to talk about feeling a lot in music. There's a lot of feeling going on in music. Now, at the end of the second line, you see the thin and thick bar line and the 2 dots. Remember, that is a repeat sign. It means, for now, go back to the beginning and play the whole mess again. Okay, so you can play it twice. That's why there's 2 sets of words. There's 2 verses if you're going to sing. If you're going to sing, not me, I ain't singing. Now, between the lines, there's an MF. MF, if you remember, it's Italian. It means mezzo forte, which means moderately loud or medium loud or sort of loud. It's not loud, it's just sort of loud. What that is, beats me. It's not loud. Whatever you think, it depends on your situation. Now, in a little room like this, loud isn't that loud. Outdoors, loud would be louder. It depends on the situation. Just in your situation, what is loud? Not really loud. There's louder than this. Just loud. And then this is sort of loud. The whole thing. Because you keep a dynamic level, the MF, the loud and soft, that's dynamics. You stay at that level until they give you something else. And there isn't anything else. So the whole thing is medium loud. That's a problem, but I'll come back to the problem a little later. So we just want to be able to play this at that loudness, no hesitations anywhere, a steady beat throughout, and you should be able to play this without looking at the keyboard. You want to be able to develop a feel for the keyboard and what it's like and where the keys are. So try to keep your eye on the music and play it that way. I like to talk about interpretation. Most teachers don't teach interpretation, mainly, I think, because they were not taught interpretation. I was not taught very much about interpretation, taught a little bit, but not very much. But a lot of reading and studying and listening and observing, you gradually pick things up over the years. So I'm teaching interpretation, at least some. The dynamic, the MF, that's part of interpretation. They're telling you how loud to get. Otherwise, you'd have to decide. You interpret it. You feel the music. The moderately slow, that's the tempo. That's how fast you go. I don't know what moderately slow is. It's just moderately slow. It's not a set speed. It's just on the slow side of the moderate, middle range. But to me, if you were going to sing it, how fast would you sing it? Not going to slow would be this. Just slow. Moderate would be that. Well, it's in between them. I don't know, somewhere in there. Pick something. It depends on how much coffee I've had to drink. That's fine. And that's part of interpretation. Now, in the middle of the page there, they have some things for you to do. They want you to clap or tap. You can do that. I don't really get into that stuff. I'm just focusing on the music. But if it will help you to clap the rhythm out first or tap it, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, whatever, you go right ahead. Play and count it. Well, that helps at the beginning to get the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you're focusing on the numbers and the notes you're playing and which finger you're using, and everything's going mishmash, so it doesn't hurt to play and count it. Just keep in mind you're only doing it at the beginning when you're trying to learn what the rhythm is. Once you have the rhythm, you don't count it anymore. You feel the pulse. And then they want you to play and sing the words. Oh, you go right ahead and knock yourself out on that. I'll skip that part. Let's play this together very slowly and check to make sure you have the right notes and the right rhythm, or you're playing the notes at the right time. You should be playing the same note I'm playing. And this is after you've learned it. Make sure you can play this, because I put the starting point of the Play With Me section of the video in the description, so you can come back to the video later if you need to and go right to it. Although you probably should listen to the lesson again, but it's up to you. So let's play it together very slowly. We're going to do it twice because it's repeated. I'll give us 4 counts. I'll go 1, 2, ready, go. That's 4 counts. And then we'll play it together. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Repeat.